Cikgu Hairul, mula-mula ada
Hello and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Komati Virasinghan from SMK Eva Maria Convent Ipoh, and I'm the moderator of today's webinar. Our webinar today is all about uncovering the amazing secret of Runlinc in IoT. This webinar is brought to you all by Malaysian STEM Teachers Association in collaboration with Unit Pembangunan Bakat Murid JPN Melaka. Before we start, let me explain on how you can communicate with us during the webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, just write them in the chat column. We will have a Q&A session at the end of our meet today to answer your questions. And if you have experienced any issues in hearing today's webinar, please state it too in the chat and our support team will help you to troubleshoot those issues. We will send you all the relevant links during the event, including the link to the webinar participation. So please stay tuned with us till the end. So now let's begin our webinar today. We are pleased to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Peng Chu from Australia. Dr. Peng Chu is a Deputy Vice Chancellor for International Collaboration of Central University Institute of Bamenda in Cameroon. He is also a director of Stem Cell Foundation and life member of Asia Regional Training Development Organization. Dr. Peng is highly passionate in ensuring Runlinc technology develops to its full potential. He has recalled creativity from hibernation to harness the power of Runlinc AI technology to solve problems created by COVID-19. Besides, he has deployed disruptive Runlinc AI technology to free up time on coding hours instead of months, to recall creativity from hibernation in solving community problems. Dr. Peng intends to change STEM education pedagogy.
If you need to cut now, you cut. Sorry.
From 80% theory to 80% hands-on, making STEM with IoT and AI project to implement United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Currently, Dr. Peng works on running creativity case projects include Make Every House a Smart Home to implement United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Make into Realities His Majesty the King of Bhutan's STEM Education Reform Strategy, Make STEM a Daily Language, and PwC's STEM Economy Strategy. And today, he'll be sharing with us his expert opinions on Runlinc. So let's give a full attention to Dr. Peng. With that, let's welcome Dr. Peng Chu to the virtual stage to present his views. Dr. Peng.
Hello, thank you so much, Komati, for the wonderful introduction. And good afternoon to everybody. Apa kabar? And I hope I still can remember a little bit of the bahasa that I learned many years ago. So because the time is a bit limited, I'll just have a brief of what I'm going to talk about. I think the first thing to assure every teachers who is listening in, I'm not sure how many are listening in at the moment. I see a lot of registration yesterday. Welcome to the world of Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, which is part and parcel of STEM. So I think our interest today is to assure teachers that we are also teachers like you, that this technology will be easy enough for you as well as the children to learn to make STEM projects, which in Malaysia may be the first time to demonstrate to the world that you can include Internet of Things, they call it IOT, and then artificial intelligence in your students' STEM projects, which even university students find it difficult. And so Miro, the inventor of this technology, which in many people's minds, they already say is very disruptive. It disrupts curriculum. It changes STEM education pedagogy from 80% theory to 80% hands-on making things. And that's exactly what employers are looking for. So we want students to be preparing for the graduate employability, starting from school days, not waiting until they go to uni. And so by way of demonstration, I think the easiest way is to talk about one single project, which is called an intruder alarm, which I think will be a very useful exercise for everyone to be able to make it as a case study in order to impress the HR managers or anybody, judges in STEM competition, that you can include in this intruder alarm, very useful system that you can see people who are coming to your house, for instance, from remote, and then scaring them so that they don't come back again. So this intruder alarm, for instance, can create vision with one line of code. In other words, between your camera in Malaysia and my laptop in Australia, or anywhere in the world through the internet, other systems will need lots of lines and very complex text programming. So this technology will need only one line of code in order to create that vision between your laptop and your camera, which is looking at the door, right? You position your camera in such a way that it can see who is coming to your house from remote, let's say from the office that you're working from. So then with 2 lines of code, using Runlinc technology, you can create a web page. Yeah, on the left-hand side, you can see the web page, this web page, that you can have 2 buttons, on button and off button, in order to on off lights, on off sound, maybe on off a camera that will take a picture of the intruder. And with 3 lines of code, you can then make a artificial intelligence voice that says, police on the way, your photo has been sent to the police, run or go to jail. Now, this is extremely powerful because if you have the ability to take a picture and send that picture onto your laptop or onto the police, then that intruder may consider very carefully whether to come back to your house again. So this 1 + 2 + 3, 6 lines of coding will, using other systems, need a few hundred lines of text coding, which is extremely difficult for teachers as well as for majority of the teachers who are science teachers, maths teachers, STEM teachers, right? But not many teachers are what we call engineers trained. So, but that's not a worry because teacher can learn this quickly too, because it's only 6 lines compared to a few hundred lines, right? We understand you're very busy marking papers, looking after students. So you need to have a system where you can do STEM projects with Internet of Things and artificial intelligence quickly. In many countries that we have been, America, Nepal, Thailand, many ASEAN countries, Brunei, where I come from, Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria, they have never seen systems like that. So Malaysia students will be very highly privileged in order to access these 6 lines of coding compared to a few hundred lines to make as an example, the intruder alarm, and that will reduce the time drastically. So we call it to be able to complete STEM projects in a matter of hours instead of months. I think that will give you the super advantage of the last slide that Miro showed. Is almost like you take a lift to go up to the Twin Tower. You have so much time, 3 minutes, you get up to 88th story already. If you walk up the staircase, it could take you 60 minutes. Yeah, if you walk slowly, it's such a tall building. And so with that time saved, you can be using your creativity in order to solve problems. So I just want to share the experience that technology, no matter how good it is, without creativity, which is defined by many people as ideas and imagination, if we don't have that, then you would have difficulty in using this technology for solving problems. So if there's a graph from NASA, which with screen share here is possible, it shows you that by the age of 10 years old, according to the NASA research, the creativity has reduced down to 30%. At about 20 years old, it dropped down to about 2%. So it's exponential decline. As I said, you can measure that yourself using this technology and see whether your creativity can be improved, can be recalled. So this technology has demonstrated to us that, there you are. This is NASA research in the 60s by hundreds of thousands of people. And they show that at about 10 years old, the creativity dropped to 30%. And by the time you're adults, 20 years old, is about 2%. So without creativity, I repeat, without ideas and imagination, how can you use a tool to solve problems like so many? Intruder alarm is just one example, which you can fit it onto your drone even. So Miro will demonstrate. The drone will be able to take off. If somebody stand in front of the house and block the light, some sort of sensing, or step on the switch, then the drone will take off and scare off the intruder using the AI voice synthesis of, your photo has been taken, sent to the police, run or you go to jail. And so going back finally to creativity, is why does it drop so quickly? And one of the reasons that we discovered doing a lot of survey is that we don't use it. And where do we not use it? Mostly in my time in schools. I go to school to memorize things. I got very good marks. I'm very good at memorizing things. And all my friends too, not just me. So we hardly, I'm talking about many years ago, right? This is at least about 60 years ago that we go to school to memorize. So we don't use our ideas and imagination hardly, or making things to solve problems. So we don't use it, it dropped quickly. So in other words, creativity can go into a sleep mode. It cannot be destroyed. And we try to connect that to the law of conservation of energy. If creativity is a form of mental energy, according to the law of thermodynamics, which says energy cannot be created or destroyed, maybe creativity cannot be destroyed. It can be put into hibernation. It can put into a sleep mode because you don't need to use it, right? Then if that is sleeping, can we recall the creativity from hibernation to solve problem? And one of the problems that we are passionate about, caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, is actually excessive online games, which is in every homes, potentially. Yeah, some low, some very high, and some, like in Germany, there's a case only 2 weeks ago. The game asked the boy to jump off the building, and he did, and he died. So many such examples, right? And so United Nations has done enough survey already, this COVID-19 pandemic, because kids cannot go outside and play. So most of them end up with online games. And it's not just games. Online can be very harmful too, right? So it become almost a full-time job for parents to make sure that the children don't get harmed like that. So we say, can we then replace this AI drug addiction, so-called, ADA, ADA. Just happen to be ADA, we call it ADA, AI drug addiction. Can we replace it with ASA, which is called HOPE, right? ASA, AI STEM addiction, to make it even more addictive than the ADA, which is AI drug addiction, like Miro will show you. And I think many children find this extremely exciting, and they prefer this addiction to STEM, education, than some of these games that can be extremely addictive. And according to research, is the dopamine that comes out of their brains is virtually equivalent to opium, the real drug addiction. There are research like that. So if we can use Runlinc to solve that problem, I think we would have done very well. So I'll leave you with the thought, finally, of 150,000 laptops going to be allocated to 150,000 students in Malaysia because of COVID-19. They need computer to learn at home because they can't go to school during the lockdown. So can these 150,000 houses that receive the 150,000 laptops be turned into 150,000 smart homes? After that, maybe every house in Malaysia become a smart home. And what is inside this smart home? With that example, 150,000 laptops. Can we turn that into ADA, ASA, SUDA? Can we replace the AI drug addiction with ASA, which I understand is HOPE, right? ADA, ASA, SUDA. So Malaysia will be pioneering a change to solve this terrible problem of AI drug addiction in changing the 150,000 houses into smart homes that provide quality education. Quality education, we will do a survey. Is that hours to finish a STEM project, or is that months to finish a STEM project? So if we provide quality education to the children inside the 150,000 houses, then can that quality education be used to replace the AI drug addiction, the excessive online games inside the house? So inside the house, then you have ASA to replace ADA. And then can we have gender equality in STEM? Because there's not a lot of girls. We know for sure in Australia it's only 10% taking up STEM subjects because of the difficulty of engineering. So I'm not sure about Malaysia, but I think maybe similar. So can we then, inside the 150,000 smart homes, use quality education hours instead of months to make STEM projects so that the girls get excited about it, and then create gender equality? Can we then link this whole story to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals? If you check the 17 development goals, UN SDG number 11 is actually called a smart home. So then we have quality education, UN SDG number 4, 2 already. Then we have UN SDG to help with gender equality, quality education number 4, with UN SDG number 5, which is gender equality. And finally, can ADA, ASA, SUDA be UN SDG number 3, which is mental health? Because that thing creates a huge amount of stress. We have a real case study called Arifin in Kuala Lumpur. This is the final part of my thing, and then I hand over to Miro. The Arifin, from March to June last year, about 6 to 8 hours per day. He was not like that before. He was an average, very good student from Bangladesh, but come to Kuala Lumpur to have a different experience in education. And that stressed out the whole family. he brought in a lot of unhappiness. So he called himself the Zero. Then suddenly he became the hero of the family. He brought in a lot of happiness because he used Runlinc to offset his games to the point where he brought it to the school. I think it was Masa School at that time. And with the Australian principal, he saw this wonderful 1 + 2 + 3 lines of coding. He said, share it with your friends, I'll give you a little bit of pocket money. And as they go on, the principal helped him to win a scholarship, 30,000 ringgit. So his parents become super happy. Parents were asking me, can you hear Arifin's mother praying? I said, yes, I can hear my name and Miro's name, but I couldn't understand what she's talking about at 5 o'clock prayers. Yeah, salat or something, right? So he said she was thanking Allah for Runlinc stem cells saving our lives because we were destroyed. I had to go hospital to look for antidepressant. So compared to that German boy who jumped off the building, these games can do that sort of nasty thing, right? So then I said, Arifin, are you going to prove something else? He said, yes, I'm going to give part of my scholarship, $1,000, to buy a ticket and some accommodation for a student from Penang to come to my school to present gender equality using Runlinc after the pandemic. So Pavana from Penang is going to do that, and she suggests maybe to go and present this to Minister Zuraida, the Minister for Housing, and explain to her how to change 150,000 houses into smart homes and create those 5 UN SDGs, ada sudah, ada asas sudah. So you can see, you can start thinking whether this is creativity that is in reality can be achieved. So the end story of Arifin, he's make a storytelling app. You can make your own storytelling app using Runlinc. You can make your own website using Runlinc too. And he expressed that in his storytelling app, which I think we can share that later on in the group chat here. So I'll hand over to Miro, and we hopefully have a lot of time for Q&A. And hopefully we can do many other projects. And by the way, I forgot to thank Cikgu Zaki and Suhaili for this wonderful encounter and sharing this incredible idea, because I have no doubt, not a shadow of a doubt, if we all pick up this idea and work together, I think Malaysia will become #1 in ASEAN countries and perhaps in the world in introducing STEM projects that include IOT and artificial intelligence in a matter of hours, not months, to finish a project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pang, for the wonderful sharings. It's really amazing and inspiring to know how you have created a level playing field to make Runlinc, STEM, IoT, AI skilling available to people in need. And now, here's our special guest, Prof. Miroslav Kostecki, who is well known as Prof. Miro, Chief Technical Officer of Stem Cell Foundation, focusing on AI social business startups, Pro Vice Chancellor for Technology Transfer of Central University Institute of Bamenda in Cameroon, Life Member and Head of Technology Committee of Asia Regional Training Development Organization. Prof. Miro led a team to launch Runlinc, disruptive AI technology, in 2018. Runlinc is a simple-to-use integrated development environment inside a Wi-Fi chip, which enables users to quickly make a control web page. Primary to tertiary level student program the control web page in a browser to link with the hundreds of millions of things in the internet to make STEM project with Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. Runlinc is fast, easy, and fun to use. For example, it takes hours instead of months to make an intruder alarm with just 6 lines instead of hundreds of lines of code had been shared by our Dr. Pang just now. Prof. Miro supports committed venture scouts like Alex Farmer to acquire IoT, STEM, and AI skills to implement AI for social good and United Nations SDGs. Alex enjoys teaching children to make Runlinc program, drone projects to replace the extremely addictive online AI games, which are also known as AI drug addiction, ADA. The combined Scouts and Girl Guides movement has approximately 41 million members. Scouts implementing United Nations AI for social good. Alex and John Farmer, Dr. Winston Jacob, Scout Commissioner in Bangalore, India, and board member of Multi-Nation Asia Regional Training Development Organization. Prof. Miro is helping students to recall creativity from hibernation, as it is critical to use ideas and imagination to harness the power and competitive advantage of hours instead of months to make IOT STEM AI project to replace the disruptive AI drug addiction created by COVID-19 pandemic. So, without further ado, with pleasure, let me welcome Prof. Miro. Welcome, Prof. Miro.
Okay, thank you, Kamathi, and I'm very much honoured to be able to be here, and thank you for your team for setting this up. So you have reinforced many of the things that Pang has said already. So I want to actually demonstrate this live as to what we're doing. And I have a young 12-year-old man who actually only just saw this technology yesterday. And so he's going to actually help me from Malaysia over there to actually control my lamp. So Colleen is here. Good to see you, Colleen. And Colleen has actually opened a web page. And that web page, which he is showing at the moment, is actually inside the Wi-Fi chip here in Australia. So if you can see my video, there is a Wi-Fi chip, and that is actually showing that page. So this Wi-Fi chip is connected to inputs and outputs. So we can, for example, turn on a relay box, switch the relay box, and switch a lamp. This wire is connected to a connector called C4. So Colleen will go to C4 and then select the digital out. Okay, very good. And so he can test then the connection to my lamp if he presses the button. So he presses the button, and you can see that my lamp actually turns on and his button becomes green. Okay, very good. This can be a fan, or it could be a pump, or many things. So Colleen, if you could put in a name for that and just type in lamp into that for me next to the C4. So just type in lamp. Very good. Okay, I also have here a light sensor. The light sensor is an input, and it goes into C7. So Colleen, if you can go down to C7 and select the analog in, then it will actually measure the voltage and display it as a number. So we have numbers now, and we can collect data. So this data can be used for data logging. It can be used for then in the code, so it can control the sensing automatically. If I cover my hand on the light sensor, then the number will actually go down. And remember that Colin is sharing his screen from Malaysia. So, and I'm in Australia. So it means that the sensing can be anywhere. This can work with or without internet. So actually it can also work on the local network. C7, if you could just type in sensor in there, please. And this sensor could be a temperature sensor, it could be a moisture sensor, it could be many types of sensors. So Colin, if you go down up now to JavaScript Loop and just type in lowercase, that's the right one, lowercase if, just type that in. And then the round bracket. Okay, and then in the select macro, you can then select the analog in. So we're going to measure the sensor, analog in, and then select the sensor. That's right, the sensor. Put the cursor there and press the add macro. And then you see that it says analog in sensor. So Colin is putting in a little bit of code to check the sensor, and then we'll automatically turn on and off the lamp. So delete the semicolon at the end and then put in a less than sign, because we're going to compare mathematically what we measure with the sensor with an actual number. So less than, and let's make it say 120, 120, and then we'll finish the bracket. Okay, the round bracket. Very good. We'll go down to the next line, and then we can simply select the turn on, and we can select the lamp. Okay, and remember Colin has actually, he's only done this once before. So press the add macro, Colin. Okay, very good. And then type in the word else, because after the sensor is also becomes enough light, we want to automatically turn off the light. So under the else, then put the turn off lamp. Thanks, Colin. So turn off lamp. Very good. So now Colleen, just within, yes, you can add that under the else. And just within a few minutes, he has a few lines of code to actually check the sensor and control the lamp. So Colin, if you go up to run code, okay, and press the run code, and you can see the lamp turned off because there's enough light. But if I now cover my hand on the sensor here, then automatically the lamp turns on. So he has programmed my lamp to actually turn on. If I uncover it again, then it turns off. Okay, so cover, turns on. And you can see the numbers going down and up, and also the button turn on and off. Okay, so that's one example, but also we're going to make two buttons on a web page. So go up to the HTML, please, Colleen, and then put in a less than sign. We're going to put in some triangle brackets, and in after the less than sign, the H1, small h1, just means small heading. So it's a heading, one is a large size, and then put in a greater than sign. So we're just making the triangle brackets. This is how HTML language. JavaScript and HTML are native to the internet, and we're doing Internet of Things. So this is important. Okay, I think it's looking for the greater than sign. So greater than. Okay. Did you find it? Okay, so.
Prof. Miro, may you repeat that?
Yes. Do you hear me? Just put in the greater than sign.
Greater.
Yeah. So, okay, that's good. And then just type in your heading. So you can put in the text of your heading, which is Colleen's Alarm Control web page. Okay, and then put in a less than sign again. then the /H1. Okay, you're doing very well, Colleen. Excellent. Okay, and then the greater than sign again at the end. And he has one line of code on his web page. So press the stop code and run code, Colleen, and see if you can then see the start of your web page. Excellent. Okay, very good. Okay, so then we're going to make 2 buttons for the buzzer. So the buzzer is on C5, so you need to make C5 a digital out and type in the word button, just like the lamp. So go to C5 near the lamp and select the digital out. Okay, so digital out. And type in the word buzzer. Okay, very good. And then under the H1 in the HTML, okay, put in less than sign, and what we're going to do is make 2 buttons. So type in the word button in lowercase. Very good. And then a space, and then type in the word on click. Okay, no space on click, it's all one word. That's it. And then put an equals at the end, equal sign. And is that an equal sign? It's a little bit hard to see. Okay, an equal sign, like a mathematical equal. Okay, and then a quotation mark. Okay, the double quotation mark. Okay, and inside the quotation mark, just type in turn on, and then the round brackets, just like the lamp, same spelling, upper lowercase, so lowercase turn on. Okay, all one word. It needs to be a capital O, large O, and then an N, and then put in the round brackets, and then type in the buzzer in uppercase like you had. After the turn on, it needs to be the round brackets. And then inside the round brackets would be the word buzzer. Okay, the word buzzer in uppercase. Okay, so the buzzer needs to be uppercase. It needs to be round brackets. Okay, and then close the brackets. After the turn on, I think you have something, just delete it and just have the bracket straight after the word. So you don't need that, that's good. Okay, now you can finish the quotation mark. Okay, and also then do a greater than sign, and we have a button. So Colleen has actually made a button which connects to the buzzer. On the top of the button, he's going to put in some text. So Colleen, just type in alarm on so that we know what the button does. So type in alarm on. Okay, it needs to be back at the end of the last line. That's it. Very good. And then do a less than sign. You're doing very well, Colleen. So I'm guiding Colleen, and he's actually doing this in Malaysia, and I'm helping him from Australia. So put in a slash after the less than sign, and then the word button. That's right. So just lowercase button again. So that's the end of the button, and then you can put a greater than sign, and that's the all the code, one line of code to actually create a working button. This is normal HTML. So what he's learning is actually the most popular language is JavaScript in the world. HTML actually creates the displays for all of the web pages, billions of web pages in the world. So just a greater than sign at the end, please, Colleen. Okay, and then you can press stop code and run code, and we'll see if the button that you just made actually works, whether it will turn on this buzzer here, which is connected to C5. Okay, is it? Oh yeah, okay, that's good, very good. So you can press the green on, which you have, and it turns off here as well. Okay, very good. So what I want you to do is go up and then create another button. Just copy that line of code and create an off button. So copy that one and then paste it to the next line, and then you can change the turn off to a turn on to a turn off with lowercase f's, and then the alarm on at the top would actually be alarm off. Okay, and then you can try it again. So this is 2 lines of code. So just like we were saying before, it only takes 2 lines of code to do this. In other platforms, it takes hundreds of lines of code to create these buttons. So Colleen, do your buttons work? Your web page, alarm on. Very good. This is the alarm here in Australia. Alarm off. Very good. Excellent. That's very good. So you can see that's very fast. So Colleen, now what I want you to do is actually go to the top of the page, and on the chip we have actually loaded in this Wi-Fi chip. You can save and you can load, but he's going to press the get, and he's now going to get some code, which was the project which was loaded in there, which also has some buttons, okay, in the HTML, and it also has a if light sensor. But if you press the run code, Colleen, on that one, okay, then go down, then it's actually a drone control. Okay, so everyone, this is what the drone actually looks like. Okay, so this is a drone, and it is a drone which actually works on Wi-Fi. So I do have a battery. I'm going to turn it on, and we're going to connect it to the Wi-Fi. Putting it here on the ground so that we have lots of clearance. And so let me connect it to the Wi-Fi over here so that it's connected to the same network as the Runlinc. Okay, so that's connecting. Very good. Okay, so Colleen, what about if you try the start commands? I hope you were sharing your sound as well so we can hear the AI voice. Okay, I didn't hear the voice, but did you hear a voice, Colleen, just now?
Yes, I did.
Okay, maybe you need to share it with the sound. Okay, because we also have just 3 lines of code in there, and it can actually change the text to voice in the code as well. So those buttons then can also create a voice from the text. So when you share, does it include the sound? Maybe you need to unmute and then we can maybe hear your sound. That would probably work. Okay, maybe if you unmute, we can maybe hear the sound from your computer. So can you unmute your microphone? That's it? Okay. Okay. Someone over there needs to mute, I think. Okay. All right, press the, you've pressed the start commands. Okay, that's good. What about if you press the takeoff? Okay, so Colleen now has actually pressed the button to take off. Okay, Colleen, can you actually make it go forward? Okay, just make it take off again first. Okay, if you don't press the buttons, it automatically then lands. Okay, make it go up a little bit more. Press the up button. Okay, that's good. What about if you make it flip back? So there's a button there for flip back. Okay, very good. Okay, so can you make it turn as well? If you press turn. Okay, so it's actually turned. Very good. Okay, so can we also get the temperature from the drone? Can you get the temperature? Okay, so press the temperature button and it says 70. Very good. What about the battery level? Battery level from the drone? Okay, so we can see the sensor, 87% batteries. Okay, very good. Make it land now, because you also have some code there also for the sensor. Okay, very good, Colleen. So these are normal buttons also with one line of code. Over here we also have code for the sensor. So this is now part of the alarm system. So the drone actually is now part of the alarm system. So if I then put my camera like this, you can actually see the drone as well at the same time. If I cover the light sensor like this, okay, then the light turns on and the drone actually then flies automatically, because there's commands inside the Runlinc which tell the drone to fly, to go up, to turn around, okay, and then it will turn around automatically. Very good. And so Colin is showing that on his screen. And if I uncover this again, okay, then you'll be able to see that I uncover it and the drone then lands as well. Okay, very good. Very good, Colleen. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of your help for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Lido.
Right, thank you. So what I'm going to do now is just quickly invite Gabriel, who has been waiting. He's actually in Turkey, but he was in Cameroon. And not too long ago, I actually did the demo with him, just with 2 lines of code. So what happened, Gabriel, when I did the 2 lines of code demo? What was your comments? Just for 1 minute, if you just describe why why you were surprised.
Hello, I'm Gabriel, a fourth-grade computer engineering student at TED University in Turkey. So like Miro rightly said, once he did the demo, I was very surprised because I've been working on that as my graduation project and trying to build a home automation system. And I've been spending months, and sometimes I couldn't get help from my professors once I'm faced with difficulties. But I saw like what I've been wasting my time doing being done in like less than an hour, and so I was very shocked and surprised, and I felt like miserable for wasting my time in doing not using the right technologies in my project. So since then, I've decided to like continue like promoting Runlinc wherever I go, and I have some sessions in Cameroon to talk to the high school kids about Runlinc technology, and also here in Turkey, I'm also planning on writing a research paper comparing the development of Runlinc home automation system using Runlinc and other technologies which I first use in my project. Thank you.
Okay, and Gabriel also now has the Runlinc, and he's going to compare what he used before, his long Arduino project, with the Runlinc, and he's going to write a paper for that as well to be able to show and compare. So I'll hand back so that maybe we can get a few questions as well about this. Thank you very much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Sorry, Komati, can you hear me?
Yes, doctor. I can hear you.
Yeah. So I have, I think I just got a text from Bangalore. Can we get Dr. Winston, if he's able to come into this screen? He is a Scout Commissioner plus a very strong interest in social empowerment. And he's also a member of the British Empire awarded by the Queen. And I think he would become a big influencer and helping this STEM Teachers Association in Malaysia to get the story out globally. Is there any chance that we can get him on to say a few words? Maybe about 1 minute?
Okay, I'll contact you. Okay,
Can
a
we
short
find
one.
him?
Can
Because
let
in
me
Zoom,
know?
I would have found him, but I can't
Yeah.
see him on the...
So while
Is he
we're
in the
waiting for
audience?
him to come, maybe we can take some questions while we're waiting.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Prof. Miro. I hope you all have enjoyed the amazing presentation with the wonderful demo, with the amazing. So now we have to come to our next session, that is Q&A session. Dr. Peng and Prof. Miro will answer some questions that were sent to us during the presentation. So the first one, okay, here there's a question from PPD Alurgaja. They request Dr. Peng or Dr. Prof. Miro to explain a little more further about Internet of Things.
Okay, Miro, you want to go ahead first?
Okay, so Internet of Things means that if normally we might have a controller and it has sensors and it can do sensing and control, but Internet of Things means that that is also connected to the internet. That means the data can go on the internet, it can go onto a web page, and also it can be controlled maybe from the internet. So for example, if you want to have buttons on your phone, then you can use Internet of Things to turn on and off your lights or your air conditioner from a long way away, even from the internet.
Yes, and I think if I can add a little bit here.
Yeah, sure, Doctor.
You know, what we are doing now on this platform is actually IoT, Internet of Things. You see, we can see picture, we can talk, and Colin demonstrated he can even control things. So, and we only got to know him yesterday. a young Malaysian student who is game enough to come onto an Internet of Things platform to demonstrate his skills. So I think Internet of Things is something that all teachers should be able to enjoy teaching, especially if you have the technology that reduces the time from months to hours, as testified by so many of these students from young to the older student like Gabriel in Turkey. So again, the intruder alarm is a classic example of what you see. The light that mirror blocked is almost like somebody come to your house and block the light in front of your house. And then through the Internet of Things, the drone took off and take a picture of you with facial recognition, object recognition, which Runlinc can do, and send it to the police or send it to your laptop. So, and then issue a scary message, the drone, you broadcast to the intruder, taking his picture and say, your picture has been taken and sent to the police, run or you go to jail. That is extremely powerful message for anybody who want to break into a house, because you can't escape already. Every bit of your face is AI recognized, and police will find you in no time. So that application of just an intruder alarm, if you can polish it, one project only, 6 lines compared to a few hundred lines, is all you need to get kids and parents excited and participate in your project. Only
Dr. Bang.
one project to connect to the drone.
We have another question here from
Please.
Jari Mantega. Can we get visual data like graph in Runlinc regarding the temperature or humidity?
That is my favorite, like a toy for me. I don't program anymore. I'm like a lot of teachers who don't have time to program, right? But we need to do that. But Miro explained, yes, absolutely. And that is the thrill of seeing live
Miro,
data
can you
being
show
plotted.
any data on this, please?
I'm going to just see if I can actually share, because I have just activated an example over here as well. So let me see if I can share the screen to show you exactly. Right. So over here. Okay, so can everyone see that there is actually a light sensor graph? I'm sharing a light sensor graph over here at the moment.
No, I haven't displayed
Is
yet.
that coming up?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm also going to cover the light sensor. So when you see it, you'll actually see that the sensor goes across, and then I have covered it and also uncovered it as well. And then, so can you see the graph now? Is that sharing okay?
Not see. Okay, now got it. Can see it.
Yes.
Can see it? Okay. So
Yeah.
the dip is when I covered my hand. So I'm going to cover it again. And then you can see that the graph actually goes down directly on the light sensor. So this could be temperature, and it could also be humidity. It could be moisture level in the soil. Could be many things. So this can then be shown and logged as well.
Teachers, if I were you, I would quickly screen capture this and put it into your computer. This is amazing.
Okay. So then, of course, it can be used.
Okay, thank you, Prof. And there's another question from Muhammad Faud Jamaluddin. He requested that where can he get the kit? He's asking where can he get the kit. That means very enthusiastic to know it. I can we can really feel our audience are very interestingly anticipating in our webinar. They are really keen about this Runlinc.
Yes, I think Miro can answer that question. And if, before he answered it, I thought I'll pick up on what Komati has just mentioned. I think this enthusiasm, let's really capture it when it's hot, because this sort of thing is going so fast. It can go into many STEM conferences and webinars and do the case study. I'm going to put up 7 projects that you only need your laptop and your mobile phone at the moment to do the 7 online projects without needing the kit. So just give us some feedback when you receive that. Okay. So Miro, if you want to tell where to get the kits.
Yes, you can get the kits directly from us. So please come to us, and we'll get the kit. So you can actually ask for a special price in Malaysia, because we do have a website which is runlinc.com, runlinc with a small c.com. But in Malaysia, it's actually a little bit less than the Australian price as well. So you can ask for the comments there as well. Okay, so runlinc.com, and you can communicate with us, and also you can also communicate through the STEM association here as well about that, and we can help. We do have some few kits already in Malaysia, so those that are quick will probably get them quicker, but usually it can come over there within 1 week. It's very fast.
Okay. The last question, is this same with Arduino? Was questioned by Sun Siu Yan.
So the Arduino is not an Internet of Things technology, and to try to glue the Arduino, which is by itself, onto the internet is what Gabriel tried to do, and it took him many, many months to actually finally achieve that. It's very, very difficult with many, many lines of code. So that's why it's very different, because this is a true Internet of Things.
I think if I can add here.
Yes, Doctor.
All the parts, in fact, I would like to find out from a quick survey from all the teachers that are attending today, if you can type into, if they are allowed to, into the chat box, how many teachers have the Arduino kits? Because a lot of these parts can be reused. Your input output of the Arduino can be used with Runlinc kits.
Yes, they can connect. So you can connect those sensors.
Your ultrasonic, so many, right? Because no wastage there, except that this tool is much easier to use to make a case study for the students to prepare themselves for competitions, as I say, for impressing HR managers from now. You don't have to wait until you go to uni. You can start developing your graduate employability case study now. Yeah. So I'm just trying to put the 7 projects that you don't need the kit at the moment, so that all of you can make a go with it and forward it to all your students and parents if you can. And then, because some parents are engineers, and they will come to the school to support, as we found out in Common Butterworth School in Penang. Some parents are engineers, and many of them. And so send these projects out as something to connect to all these experts out there.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. There's a question from Chigu Esma. She asked how long it takes to get really good at using Runlinc. How long is the duration timeline required to get used to?
I think as long as you can type 6 lines of code in the intruder alarm, compared to a few hundred lines, that is hours instead of months. So how long? I think the best example is hours instead of months. Again, everybody is slightly different. Whether kids can be very fast.
Also give an example, there was actually a 16-year-old girl in Penang, and she just came to a few Zoom workshops, maybe for about 10 hours, and then she showed that to her friends and teacher, and then she ended up actually presenting and doing workshops herself at the school. Just after that time, she was confident enough to actually then present the Runlinc and do it herself as well. so very fast. She was doing workshops for the school. Pavana, her name is Pavana.
Okay, this will be the last question for our session today from Ka Yuan Lo. Do we need any university level programming knowledge for this?
I don't think a lot of kids have this university programming knowledge. I think maybe that's one way to answer the question. Is we have a lot of students from about, let's say, to be fair, 10 years old. We do have some as young as 8 years old. But the 10-year-old students, 9-year-old, you give them a few projects. We run inventors workshop in Australia. So every 2 hours, we finish a project. They don't carry over to the next week, the beginner's class. So it's very fast. 2 hours, they pick up a project like turn on a motor, turn on the light, which sometimes using an internet web page, it can take a long time. It's a few hundred lines of code using other system, which is text-based because of the debugging. So to answer the question, no. Yeah, the language you saw already, maybe too fast there, is actually JavaScript, which is 70% of the world's programming are done in JavaScript now. It is the language of the world because everything is connected online, right? And your car is connected online. Your mobile phone, your laptop, even my ceiling fan in the exhaust fan in the kitchen is connected to the internet because there's a little chip there to tell when to do the maintenance. Your fridge can order automatically already. So we call it Internet of Things here, but really the final destination is artificial intelligence. And STEM is necessary to build IoT and AI. So that's why STEM become such a critical subject for building economy. Price for the house.
Yeah, I'd like to also add, sorry, Pang, also add that on our webpage we actually have projects. So we have many projects, short projects to actually show and help how the Runlinc works. And also because it's normal HTML and JavaScript, you can go to W3 Schools and type in if you just want color, and it will show you and give example on how to use that directly in the Runlinc. So it's very well documented as well. Sorry, Pang, you can continue with price.
I was just saying this technology, I used the word creativity earlier to explain, is simply anything you think about can be connected to Runlinc, whether it's art, whether it's performing arts. Imagine 6 drones. Performing arts teacher is telling Colin how to program it to make it dance.
Excuse me, Doctor. I think there's one question regarding that too from Shalini Nagapan. Is that Runlinc can be accessible by the special education kids, like any simple method and variations?
So the question here, if I get it right, is yes, it can be used by, when we say special education students, the kids, like any simple methods and variation. Maybe we need a little bit more information, but the basic answer is yes, it is accessible online. It's a web page, so you can open it anywhere in the world. And by the way, very important, I think we missed this point, is you don't need internet to use Runlinc. If you don't have internet, don't panic. You only need a local Wi-Fi. So students, teachers who have no access to internet, as long as they have a laptop and a mobile phone, using local Wi-Fi hotspot, they can use it already. Earlier on, I was talking about PricewaterhouseCoopers. I think this is critical for us educators. Yeah, we are like you, educators. So how do I demonstrate to prove Runlinc can be connected to non-technical companies, not necessarily Microsoft or Google or Intel, but PricewaterhouseCoopers is like a big financial company. They supposed to be they charge $300 per hour for their services to audit the books of governments around the world. They're called the Big Four. There are 4 companies like that. They did a STEM economy research. That's how serious it is. And they say if you shift 1% of Australia's workforce about 100,000 workers into STEM job, 1%, right? Of let's say 10 million workers. Our economy will increase by $57 billion. So this type of information is critical for any teachers to inform their parents, students' parents, and the ministers, because this is what you're delivering for Malaysia. If that report is only a strategy, it's not a solution. So if you shift 1% of Malaysia's workforce, your population is 33 million, ours 25, let's say about the same. So rather than $57 billion, yours could be 150 billion Malaysian ringgit if you shift 1% of Malaysia's workforce into STEM. But if that is only a strategy, it's not a solution, then they must be using months of work to achieve that. Because they possibly only know about Arduino and Raspberry Pi. They never heard of us yet. So isn't it an opportunity for Malaysian teachers, this PGSM, as a whole, engage, write a report, and do that survey of how Malaysia's economy will increase, how much, maybe 100 billion Malaysian ringgit. Get the support of PricewaterhouseCoopers from Malaysia to help you, because that is your key to the big dollars, because they would never imagine teacher would do that. That's why I said creativity, if you look at Wikipedia, is to join things that are not normally connected together. And we use Runlinc to connect them. And every time we connect, it works. It surprises people. So that is just to also demonstrate why STEM and SEL. Why not just STEM? Why are we talking about social enterprise learning? Look at the picture at the back of me now. That's Professor Yunus from Bangladesh. He won a Nobel Peace Prize for helping poor people with microfinance. He is very popular in Malaysia, supposed to be. Many universities have his center. I even helped to start one in UPM, University Putra, Malaysia. I started a Dr. Yunus Social Business Center. See,
excuse me, Dr. Peng. Dr. Winston is here, so shall we give?
Wonderful. So, Dr. Winston, thank you for joining us. And the teachers are very happy to listen to your experience in Papua New Guinea, where you have a very difficult time until the Queen recognized you with a member of the British Empire. So Malaysia is one of the Commonwealth countries, obviously. And so member of the British Empire, we want you to please tell us, how did you manage to get the MBE and got shot 10 times in Papua New Guinea, 33 years there? Can you hear? Yeah.
Salam alaikum. Very happy to be with you all today, and like to share a few experiences working in Papua New Guinea. I started the mini credit scheme for the less fortunate, and it was a 99% success rate, and very glad to see what the two professors have come up with. Very, very innovative project, which I think is the answer to the world problem today, and would highly recommend it to all who are listening in today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Winston. And he's a bit short because I think he feels that maybe we are running out of time. For those who are Girl Guides and Boy Scouts, Dr. Winston is a commissioner of Scouts in Bangalore. He's going to be able to tell this story to 50 million Scouts worldwide. And hopefully we will have a STEM badge for the Scouts. So for those, there are many Scouts in Malaysia. I met many. So for those who are in this movement, Dr. Winston will be able to tell your story. So he is highly networked. He invited us to a creativity conclave. It's a 6-hour sort of discussion. And we met people from Greece. And this Greece lady is STEM expert. And she has been awarded 20 times by United Nations for STEM and connected to aerospace. So that's why I brought Dr. Winston here to show you the power of Runlinc can connect people together. So before we close, if teachers want to stay on, we are here. As long as Cheku Zaki is not running off to another meeting, as long as this platform is open, we're very happy to stay on and answer questions. Feel free.
And the question just now about teachers who have zero knowledge of programming, yes, this is a good place to start. It is a very good place to start to learn because it's very, very easy to start.
No need any prior knowledge on programming. We have found no need any previous experience in programming at all. They can start this off. You will see already. We spent 5 years building this engine. So it may sound very easy and looks very easy. We actually spent 5 years to develop this product. Yeah, it's a product that I think one day you will start thinking, who invented Wi-Fi in the world that connected us all together on this sort of platform like Zoom and this amazing platform, which I like very much. Wi-Fi was invented in Australia by 2 scientists. Yeah, the power of this is amazing. Everybody know. Yeah, and the ability of this project of this technology Runlinc using Wi-Fi is perhaps the first one to be able to program microchips, microcontrollers in the browser without a cable. So you can see already, I can reprogram your page in Malaysia. You can reprogram mine too, as long as you know the IP address, the address of that page. Just like any web page, you have an address, right? So that page is inside a Wi-Fi chip, the size of your thumbnail, that you can position anywhere in the world and reprogram it. So whatever you attach to it, sensing, data logging, control, you have the power in your hands already. So it is not a question of how long it takes. It already, we say, it's a very short time compared to others. It is the power that is in your hands once you master it. And young Colin demonstrated that already. I think if he continue this journey, he will be able to be your clear example of kids as young as 11, 12 years old. That is the perfect time for them, 10 years old upwards. And they would convincingly, compared to current university students like Gabriel, like Amarin from UPM, we have the similar experience there. He wanted to make a web page to on and off lights in the hydroponic nursery, that he has to walk every day, long distance, to on the light at the night time and to off it during the daytime. So he said, why not use my mobile phone to make a web page, or my laptop, and on with 2 buttons on and off. He got all his friends from engineering who knows Arduino, Raspberry Pi. 3 weeks, they couldn't make it. And deadline is there. Another week. So Dr. Mas encouraged Amarin to talk to Niro. He got a kit from Klang, I think. He drove all the way on his motorbike to Klang. Happened to have a student who brought back a kit from Australia, our intern. And he managed to finish it in 3 hours. That is a live Malaysian example. So a lot of expertise, a huge amount of creativity in Malaysia. You know, Ada, Asa, Suda is actually not made by me. The word Suda was added to Ada and Asa by another teacher from Kelantan, Zoom. I hope if she's there, she would be able to say hi to everybody. You know, the creativity of Malaysians or the ASEAN people are second to none. We come up with ideas like simple words to connect things together, but you need to show that you can do it. And this Runlinc will help you to demonstrate that now. It's no longer just empty talk that we have ideas. You can actually show it. So you can see we have Dr. Winston, who helped us to connect to AtDoor, which is 40 countries. He is a, thank you. He is a highly influential person because of his hard work to demonstrate that he has leadership. So people trust leaders like Dr. Winston to maybe say a few words to your ministers of education or housing. One day, for sure, we'll invite him to say that. Then she will cut the chase and get onto the story. He spent 33 years in a very rough country in Papua New Guinea and managed to transform people's lives and receiving that acknowledgement of the Queen, member of the British Empire. So he could be your friend in Malaysia, because Malaysia is part of the British Empire, right? I mean, we're just making use of this connection to do good things. And the person behind me, Dr. Yunus, will be your friend too. What is his story in Sabah? 30,000 families. 30 years ago, making maybe a few ringgit per day. He started a microfinance system through Datuk Yaakob. And 500 million ringgit in total they have lent out. Because they pay back, right? They lend again. Add up 500 million ringgit, one of the largest success story of microfinance. And Dr. Winston brought Dr. Yunus to Papua New Guinea to meet the Prime Minister. That's how influential people are. And it's very rare to get this sort of people. And his house is next to the Prime Minister. So use us in order to help to put Malaysia as the leader of STEM in ASEAN. We're here to, and you have the secret already to make that happen. So please, any more questions? Amiro, in the meantime, if we can put the 7 project, as I promised, onto the group chat, I think all the teachers are there, will be able to access it. There is a stem cell group chat. For all the
For your
teachers.
kind information, we have included those who are interested in the WhatsApp groups. So all the information regarding the project will be shared out through the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, so the 7 projects, you need only a laptop and a mobile phone. No need our kit yet, because it takes time to get to you. So have a go, because those are the templates that you can join together to make the intruder alarm, for instance. And there is also, Miro, put down the storytelling app. It's called Form 4. You can try that too. Can you imagine your CV actually talk? A talking CV. And that's what Runlinc will help your student to become different from other students. Yeah, you put in your email, you press the start button, whatever you type in there, you say, my name is Arifin, I used to be Ada, now I'm Asa. You will say things like that. And then you explain, I'm a zero to hero to my family. I brought 0 happiness during the pandemic, 10 hours of games per day. And today I win $30,000 scholarship. I become a hero of my family. You know, this is creativity. And those are teachers who are in performing arts. Please get them on board. Because that drone, you can imagine using laser, low power laser lights, different color. They could be doing wronging at night, with six dancers. That young students like Colin will be able to program the drones to perform. So even performing arts teacher, welcome. Not just STEM teachers.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Winston, for the sharing. And thank you again, Dr. Pang and Prof. Miro, for answering those questions and for your precious time spent with us with the great presentations. It was indeed a great pleasure to have you both here with us. So with that, we conclude that the webinar for today is coming to the end. Thank you all for attending. We really hope you have learned and enjoyed this presentation. Thank you. Bye.
If I can just say a few words of thank you too, to especially yourself, Komati, to Chiku, Zaki, Suhaili. I'm sure I'll meet many more. And please communicate with us. We welcome all your questions, and we try our best to answer them all as quickly as possible. And maybe those who are interested, join us in different webinars. We are running back-to-back webinars because of the drone. The drone is a big icebreaker.
For further practices and upcoming webinars, audience can have a look at our PGSM by Facebook for the updates.
Thank you, Dr. Winston.
Thank you, Prof. Miro. Thank you, Dr. Pang. Thank you.
I'll send you information on WhatsApp as well, on the WhatsApp. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for